Morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to yoga. I hope you guys had a great long weekend. I hope everybody was able to do something fun. Do we have any questions or special requests before we get started today? All right. Well, then we'll just jump right on in. I will meet you guys in a seated position on our mats. Just an easy seat. I'll start by just grounding through the sits bones, lifting through the spine, opening the chest. And maybe as we sit today, use this opportunity to start engaging the core a little bit. See if that changes your seated position. Just allowing our focus to come to the breath. And now is your opportunity to set an intention for today's practice. A little goal that you'd like to take with you. And once you have that in mind, we'll just come back to the breath. As much as possible, just allowing ourselves to sit in stillness and really come to the present moment. On the next breath, we'll drop our head to the right side. And then down in the front. To the left. And back, looking up to the sky. And we'll just start to take little neck circles here, however fast or slow you want. And then slowly maybe make the neck circles bigger or faster. Trying to find your full range of motion. Let's switch directions. Maybe one or two more. Then we'll slowly come back to our neutral spine. On the next inhale, lift your arms to the sky. We'll interlace the fingers. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Exhale, reach those hands out in front of you and maybe walk them forward on the ground. And from this position, we're just going to lift up onto our hands and slowly up into our tabletop position. So just coming from our cross-legged with our arms out, lifting up onto the hands and knees. And from here, we'll start with our cat-cow flow. So as we inhale, we'll drop the stomach, looking up to the sky. Exhale, arch the back, tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin. You can move to your own breath. Just a few more breaths here. And then we'll come back to our neutral spine. From here, let's reach the right leg out behind us, toes on the mat, and gently just press your weight through that right heel. A really gentle heel stretch or calf stretch. And release the right knee to the mat. Send the left foot out behind you and gently reach through that heel. And release that knee to the mat. From here, we'll press most of our weight onto the left hand and rotate the right hand so the fingers are facing you and the wrist is facing out. For a little wrist stretch here, the more you pull your weight back towards your hips and towards your feet, the bigger of a stretch that you'll feel right there. And let's flip the hand over so we're on the back of our right hand. And release that right hand back to the mat. Let's rotate the left hand so the fingertips are facing towards you. Rotate the hand, flipping it over. And release it back to its normal position on the mat. From here, let's inhale the right arm up to the sky. Spend a second here, just opening up the chest. And exhale, reach that right hand under the left and through for thread the needle. You're welcome to rest your head on the mat while you're here. And let's release that right hand back to the mat. Inhale, left arm up to the sky, opening up the chest. And on the exhale, We'll thread the needle, walking that left hand out. On the next breath, we'll release that left hand back to the mat. From here, let's tuck the toes and lift the hips into a downward facing dog. And it is our first downward dog of the day. You're welcome to walk out those feet. Dropping one heel and then the other. And we'll inhale the right leg up to the sky and step it forward into a lunge. We'll hold this position for just a moment. Trying to find that stretch in the left hip flexor while you're here. And let's drop the knee to the mat, untuck those toes. Spend just a moment here in a low lunge. On the next breath, let's start to straighten the front leg, walking the hands back into a reverse lunge. Isolating that hamstring. You're welcome to bring your weight however far back you need to. If you like to, you're welcome to even sit all the way onto the ground here. And let's walk the hands back up, back to our lunge. We'll bring the right foot over to the left side, drop the knee into a half pigeon. And you're welcome to stay here with your torso tall, your hands on the mat. Or if you'd like, you can drop onto your elbows. We'll be here long enough that you're also welcome to play around with both of those options. And while you're here in pigeon pose, maybe take the opportunity to remind yourself of your intention, your goal for today's practice. On the next breath, if you're on your elbows, let's lift back up to our hands. We'll tuck the back toes, step back through plank into downward facing dog. From here, we'll lift the left leg up to the sky and step it forward into a lunge. Just holding this lunge for a moment. Stretching out the right hip flexor. Then we'll drop the right knee to the mat, untuck the toes for a low lunge. From here, let's start to walk the hands and the hips back, straightening the front leg for a reverse lunge and a big hamstring stretch. And let's walk the hands forward one more time, back through our low lunge. And we'll bring that left foot over to the right side, dropping the knee into a half pigeon. Once again, you're welcome to stay here with your hands on the mat in a tall torso, or you can drop onto your elbows. And wherever you're at, let's come back up to our hands. We'll tuck the back toes, step back to a plank, and lower all the way to the mat. From here, we'll start by placing our left hand in front of us, parallel to the mat. Let's reach the right hand back to the right foot. And we'll start by gently hugging that foot in towards our body, allowing for a little bit of a quad stretch. If you aren't feeling a quad stretch here, you might bring your knees closer together, keeping that right leg straight. And on the next inhale, we'll start to lift up through that right leg, lifting the torso as well into a half wheel position. And release that back down to the mat. Place your right hand in front of you. Rest your right cheek on the mat. On the next breath, we'll keep our right hand in front of us on the mat. Reach the left hand back to the left foot. We'll start by gently hugging that foot in towards our body. A little bit of a quad stretch. On the next breath in, we'll reach the left foot out, lifting up. And gently release that to the mat. Rest your left cheek on the mat. On the next breath, we're going to reach our hands out at a 45-degree angle. And as we inhale, we'll lift the chest up. It's your choice whether you'd like to lift up your legs or not, whatever's comfortable for you. And release that to the mat. On the next inhale, we'll lift up one more time, sliding those shoulder blades back as you lift. And release back down to the mat. And last time, as you inhale, lift up, trying to engage all of the muscles back here. And release to the mat. On the next breath, we'll place our hands underneath our shoulders and lift up onto our knees. Tuck the toes here and walk the hips back into fire toes at the back of your mat. This pose is intense for you. You're welcome to keep your hands, your fingertips just on the mat, or your weight just a little bit off your toes. You can either rest your hands in a prayer position or on your legs and let those shoulders fall away from your ears. Take this opportunity to remind yourself of your intention, and then to bring your awareness to your breath. Then we'll walk the hands forward into our tabletop position and shake out those feet. From here, let's slide the legs around, come to a seated position at the back of your mat. We'll start with our feet extended in Dandasana. Inhale the arms up to the sky. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Then we'll slowly walk the hands up to our tall torso. Let's send the legs out to the sides. Inhale the right arm up to the sky. Left hand reaches towards the left leg. On the next breath, we'll switch, reaching towards the right leg. Left arm up to the sky. And let's bring that left hand over to the right leg as well, folding our whole torso over that right leg. And we'll walk the hands over to the left side. And to the center, reaching out as far away from you on the mat as you can. Then we'll walk the hands back up to our tall torso. Let's bring our feet together. So the bottoms of our feet are together on our mat. And we'll hold either around the ankles, or you can choose to hold your big toes. Bringing your torso to a tall upright position. Lifted spine, open chest. Take this opportunity to breathe here. And then on the next exhale, we'll fold over the legs. On the next breath, we'll come back up to our tall seated position. And find an easy seat, whether it's cross-legged or kneeling, whatever is comfortable for you. If you'd like to grab your block or your pillow to sit on, now would be a good time for that. And as we get comfortable here, we'll start by rooting through the sits bones, coming to a tall torso, head lifted and tall, shoulders falling away from the ears. Chest open and core engaged. And we'll bring our awareness to our breath or your intention. And we're just going to have about 3 minutes in a silent mindfulness activity. So if you have music playing, that's also welcome to be one of your focus points. But just choose a point, whether it's your breath or your intention or the music that you have in the background. And that's where you'll keep your focus right now, letting everything else go. If you chose your breath, you'll just acknowledge each inhale and exhale, not necessarily trying to change it at all, just being aware of that. If you chose your intention, maybe pair that with your breath, and as you breathe in, think of your intention. And if you chose maybe the background music that you're playing today, maybe notice each beat or the rhythm and let your mind focus on that and use that as an anchor. If you notice any distracting thoughts coming, you can allow them to hold their space for a moment, acknowledge them, and then let them go, sending them on their way, and choosing to not dwell on them. Just coming back to your focus point. On the next breath, we'll slowly become aware of our body once again. Maybe wiggle the fingers and the toes, or roll the wrists. Maybe now choose if your intention is something that you'd like to take with you for the rest of the day. Or maybe it's time to find a new one. And whatever your choice may be, let's inhale those arms out to the sky. Exhale them to heart center. Thank you guys for practicing with me. Namaste.